This is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. I'm your host, Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Now, you know what time it is. It is old school NBA time. So in today's episode, I want to take a look at NBA players that were trash talking, took it a little bit too far, and at the end, it turned into a fight. But before we get to that, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video. The sponsor of today's video is Simply Seattle. They have exclusive Seattle Supersonics gear, the world's largest collection, and they partner with Sean Kemp, the Rayman, and Gary Payton for autographed pieces. So you definitely want to check out the link in the description box to see the greatest and world's best selection of Supersonics gear. All right, you guys, enough said. Let's dive right into today's episode.
They're going to have some because it really gets clogged in the middle. Pippen going down inside. Smith shut him off, and Davis picks up the loose ball. Out to Richardson. 1-on-2, 1-on-3. Boom! Couldn't get it. And put back. No, it did fall. Now Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller having a go at it. And I mean, we got fist throwing. Here come the benches. Bo Hill is out there. Bill Jackson's going out there. There'll be fines handed out all over the place here. But more importantly, what in the world ignited this?
Yeah, the 1980s and 1990s were the best basketball the NBA ever had to offer. Players like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Reggie Miller were at the top of their game physically and mentally. But every once in a while, it would happen that players would go a little bit too far with their trash-talking skills. So I want to start off this list with Reggie Miller. Now, we all know Reggie Miller was one of the greatest shooters of all time, but when it came to trash-talking, he was definitely also a Hall of Famer. The rivalry between the Knicks and the Pacers in the 1990s, even until today, is legendary. If it was Spike Lee and Reggie Miller, or in this case John Starks and Reggie Miller, once you watched those games, you knew you would get something special. And even though John Starks would have many great games against the Pacers, Reggie Miller's trash talking always seemed to work a little bit on John Starks.
70% of me talking on the court is personally for me to get me motivated and going. 30% is to see if I can get in the opponent's head.
Reggie Miller very prominent here in the first half. He now has 16 points, and he and John Starks going at it.
The kind of things I was saying to John was like, okay, I'm getting ready to turn it on now. All right, John, look at the scoreboard.
He had great highs and great lows. He could have a playful side, but he could become enraged, very quickly.
And oh my God, Reggie lusted for this. He knew it. He couldn't wait to get to Starks.
John, look at your stat line. Are you kidding me? And you're supposed to be a starting shooting guard in this league? Are you kidding me? This is embarrassing. And he looks at me, he's like, I know what you're trying to do, right? Tells everything. And when the switch was flipped, you could see it. And once you have them, you keep them there.
I was so mad, and I wanted to hit him.
And I kind of like nudged him a little bit, and he lost it.
Everything just came up to my head, and I just tapped him. And, he went into the theatrical, falling back and like I didn't kill him or something.
Obviously, John Starks was kicked out of the game after this incident. When Reggie Miller was asked after the game what he said to John Starks, he had the following to say.
I go out there to have fun, and to get the crowd into it, and I think he took it kind of personal.
Now next on my list I have Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson. In the early 1990s, Mourning and Johnson were considered to be the future of the Charlotte Hornets. But once Larry Johnson signed a multi-million-dollar deal with the Hornets, everything changed. Mourning felt that he should be the one who gets this kind of a deal. He said that openly, which of course did not sit well with Larry Johnson. Fast forward only a few years later, Mourning would play for the Miami Heat and Larry Johnson for the New York Knicks. And it only took a little scuffle, a few trash talk lines, and both players would go.
Hardaway, no. Rebound, New York. And fists are flying at the other end. Larry Johnson is one of them. Here we go.
Next on my list I have one of my favorite stories of all time, Larry Bird trash talking Dr. J. Here we have to remember that Dr. J was a legend even while he was playing, probably the most respected player in the 1980s. But if you know Larry Bird, he did not care. While playing the 76ers, Bird would give Dr. J buckets and read the stats to Dr. J. Every time he would score, he would tell the doctor his points and Irvin's points. Dr. J, who was having an off night, obviously did not like that, and at one point it was simply too much to take. So next on my list I have a story that involves Charles Oakley, the Oak Tree, one of the forgotten trash talkers of his generation. He was not only a solid player and a tough guy, the tough guy of his era, but also a player who would try to get under your skin. In the following scene, he would tell bad boy legend James Edwards to go home to his mama and cry like a little
Mason up the floor, Starks is fouled, and have the beginnings of a beautiful rise to the hoop. Now Edwards and Mason exchanging some trash talk. There's been a lot of that tonight.
Well, Starks looked as though he took quite a hit on that play.
Now Oakley's there.
And he was...
Edwards slapped Oakley. Where are the officials? Now they finally show up.
Where are Edwards' teammates as well to calm him down? Pat Riley's right in the middle of it all.
In the early 2000s, one of the few rivalries that still remained, or were born actually, was the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers. It was beautiful to watch this as a fan. The Lakers would call the Kings the Queens and provoke them big time. And tensions were very high, as you can see in the following clip.
We begin with the Lakers without their daddy.
All the time. You never know who you're going to run into up there.
And the Kings without their Bibby, both leaders on the mend, of course, while their teammates pick up the rivalry. And what a rivalry it is. And there's Shaq. Guess the flannel PJ look is in. Who's going to tell him it's not? Here
he
comes
didn't get the ones
excitement.
with the feet, though.
Oh, look at this. Rick Fox elbowing Duck Christie. Christie gets up, and look what happens. Oh, Fox pushes Christie, and Christie punches him in the face. And this is the preseason. Need I remind you? Obviously, the heated feelings carrying over from the postseason a year ago. They'd be gone, but everyone would get into the mad mix. Christie, Fox would resume their fight in the tunnel. Like, we knew that was going to happen. And then everyone gets involved. I mean, the entire Kings bench comes out to join this mess. And look who's there. Do you notice as soon as Shaquille gets involved, everyone sort of backs away?
Now, back in the days, trash talking was a way bigger part in the game than it is today. You don't believe me? Well, let's have a look.
As far as talking trash, I think every guy in the NBA talks trash. The coaches,
make him eat it, Tim. Make him eat it.
The players, and the fans.
He's old magic.
Even the referees talk junk.
Why don't you play the game and stop crying, you big baby?
I'm talking too.
It's part of the game. You know, playing a little cat and mouse game with each other.
You pay a lot of money for that hair weave?
But then you got some people that take it personal or whatever.
Tammy is having some words with Otis, and Kinsey's got Balinese, and they're still jawing at each other.
And if you can out-talk that guy and get him to thinking about something else, you know, besides going out and play basketball, then that's to your advantage.
Who talks the most trash in the NBA? Lambeer's one of them, but Lambeer does it to provoke you.
I use the word agitate. That's a good word for me.
They're going at it.
There's a fight right there.
That's a good one for the tape.
I think Charles Barkley does a lot of talking.
It ain't against the rules to make a layup.
Reggie Miller does a lot of talking.
Look at Reggie and Magic trying to psych him. You know, Magic, you know you can't make these two. You know you can't make them.
Ignore him.
All right, you guys, that was it for today's episode. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a like. And also, if you're new to the show, please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to check out Simply Seattle. In the description box below, you will find a link for the greatest and biggest selection of Supersonics gear. All right, you guys, you all stay healthy. Take care and see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.